السلام عليكم. Dezat Sabshay, Dehjat, Dehzat. Can you hear me?
السلام عليكم روحان السب.
How are you?
من انگلیسی یاد ندارم یادم سامسه وطنی گپ بزن.
خوب است بخیر هستی؟ صحتتان خوب است؟
شکر از فضل خداوند زنده باشی بخیر باشی. شوال داره هیچ نیستی شما بیخی گم هستین.
نه
جزاك میگه که کارش شد خوب ولی پرسان نمیکنی.
نه پیشتر خو ما چی بودم در میتینگ دیگه بسیار فعال بودم و بدایی بود که دو تا فیلوی ما غفوریار صاحب و کی یک فیلوی ما غفوریار صاحب بسیار خوب پریزنتیشن ارائه کرد. بسیار عالی بود و دیگه استادم بسیار آمادگی گرفته.
شیر هستم خیلی شیر.
دیگه
شیخ دیگه شیخ کجاست؟
Your voice is breaking, sorry.
Sheikh, your voice is not breaking.
مردمای دیگه هستن خواهد گفتن که چیزش خندی میکنن.
میفهمم دیگه یا از چی از alumni TESAS.
Let's talk in English. Here we have Wani and let's discuss in English. We also here.
ناصری صاحب هم هسته.
ناصری پوری active.
بله دزاس سلام علیکم هستم
Ustaz Fazila Marwat, she is also present. Ikramullah Mukhlis, welcome please and yes, Mariam Gapuria, Bahal. Thank you from now attending the meeting on time.
سلام سعادت سبستاس خبره پوین شما غاګ دې ډېر ورو راځي نه پوهېږم
شاید ما پیسې کې څه مشکلات نه پوهېږم
Hi, Sadiq. I have not received the presentations of some fellows. So I was wondering, just a second. I have received Fazila's, Nasima, Mariam's, Zarguna, Zohal, Mohammad Ishaq Aryan, Abdul Jabbar Mehban. Yeah, that is it. Hello, am I audible?
Good afternoon. Yes, ma'am, you are audible. We can hear.
All right. So, Anwarullah, I haven't received the presentations of some fellows. So what should we do? Should we wait or should we start? I'll wait for 5 minutes and I guess we can start after that.
So I have discussed with everyone and I don't know why they haven't sent the presentation yet.
Yeah.
I'll just try to contact them. Some of them, they had some problems. We must start.
Sada septa sumata suela.
فضلی ما څه نه ویل خالي ما ویل چې ښه چې ګډون وکړه ثانک یو
Okay, I'm just gonna ask all the fellows who are on the call. Mr. Nasiri, I haven't received your presentation. Nagina and Jamila, I haven't received your presentations either. Similarly with Abdullah Danish, I haven't received your presentation either. So I think we will start. How many fellows are there?
Most of them has joined. Mom.
One, two. Four more fellows, I think, need to join, right? Four of them are not there. Okay.
I think Zarguna had a training to do, so she will join before her presentation.
Zarguna has joined, actually.
She has? Okay.
Yes, yes, she has joined, but I haven't received the presentations of Nagina, Jamila, Abdullah Danish. Please share your presentations with me. Yeah. Okay. So, so good afternoon, everyone. We will start, I guess. It's 3:05 now. So I think every fellow, we said there'll be about 5 to 7 minutes. The science education fellows are going first. We have Fazila, who is the first fellow. And are we waiting for anyone? I think Sadiq is here, Anwarullah is here, from our team, everyone is here. As well as the field mentors. I think I see most of them here. So yeah, Fazila, do you want to share your screen or do you want me to share?
Yes, I can share my screen, but if you received my presentation and you want to share it, it's also okay.
Yeah, so I'll share it and you tell me when you want to change the slide. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, just a second. Yeah. Fazila?
Yes.
You can start.
First, good afternoon, everyone. And, I'm happy to join this meeting. It's in the research proposal summarization with all fellows and academic and field mentors. I will share what I prepared shortly. As I have shared the topic of my proposal, my action research was identifying and addressing misconceptions of students regarding thermodynamic physics in the path of heat transfer. This action research will be guided by Honamid, the academic mentor, and my field mentor will be Ikramullah Mukhlis. Sorry, ma'am, the second slide. Context and rational. The context for this topic currently this in this context. The science education is a key part of one school's curriculum. Physics as interesting aspect of science is still accepted as difficult subject in the for this physics, especially thermodynamics physics or the physics of heat. It seems complex viewpoints and vision of teachers and students. So staff students don't participate by interest and with physics learning. The other reason is the traditional teaching methods are still used here. And also the other one is the teaching learning process going on with textbooks and few other essential or environmental materials. Another interesting point, the action research is not usual in this context, and this will be the first time for such research to be conducted in our educational area. The next slide, ma'am. The problem or issues which exist are in few points. First, the teacher feel bored sometimes teaching physics. The teacher itself is feeling bored because especially physics. And the other, most of the students do not participate actively in physics learning. The next one, most of the students don't show interest toward learning physics, and also they are not able to relate or make connection of physics learnings. So, for example, the heat events are very broadly explained in the textbook, in the curriculum, but they are not able to connect them in their daily life. So there are very less engagement from students in this part of the physics. And the next slide. This slide has finished. Mom, would you please next slide?
I have changed the slide. Is it not moving, Sarita? Is it on slide number 4?
Yes, still.
Yes.
No, it's not moving.
Okay, let me just check what's happening. Can you see now?
Yes, the first slide.
Yeah. Is this your slide, Fazila? Why is it important to address the issue?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, this one. The importance of this issue is this action will give me opportunity to access the alternatives concepts. It means not the exact concept, but the alternative, the other concept which students have with themselves about the heat transfer. These concepts are not the exact concept, and so they are the students are not able to have the exact meaning of this, so they cannot relate with their real life. The other, to enable teachers to create connection of context, pedagogy, and technology. And this, in this research, I will have the opportunity to rely on this also, or to make it for enhancement of skills, knowledge, especially in literature, because the beliefs are alternatively not the exact, in the beliefs in also practice, or in the other words, to increase the pedagogical performance of teacher for science teaching, to create interest in students to actively participate in learning of physics, thermodynamic physics. Interest of students also. Next, review. I'm still working on collected, find some literature review, some topic for literature review. Students, students understanding heat and temperature. And this topic, finding from this topic, leave it that most of student health alternative conception of heat and temperature. The topic done by L1 in 2011. The other study is about misconceptions about heat transfer. This inquiry presents student misconceptions about heat transfer mechanism. Example, in conduction, convection, and radiation, and also chart some part of but I am doing these studies for my literature review, and will add to the next drop. Next slide, ma'am. The question which I have prepared as my action research question is, what are the basic concepts about heat transfer among students? So this is the exact part as question, and the sub question, how to address and identify issue of misconceptions. The second question is why it seems like the thermodynamic physics is boring for teacher and student. When I talk about with my academic mentor, I will see if this is enough for action research, or I will change it. The next slide. Proposed innovation, intervention, and strategies, in which the action research is in innovation in this area itself, because firstly it is to find the issue and to realize it, and to find to realize the need, what is the need for this action, and to reach the way of solution for the problem or in the head learning. This innovation is will be the working as one reason for being born the activities, not using active methods of teaching, and to make sure on student-centered pedagogy, or to help teacher practice with teacher. And the strategy I have taught for now is the strategy of mentoring and coaching, that I will try to help teachers for TPD or development of the teacher practice, because we are practicing the strategy of mentoring and coaching for now, and we will implement them in this action research, inshallah. The process of working with teachers, 5 or 6 teachers will be selected from the secondary governmental 2 or 3 schools. And to start working with teacher, at first I will have a meeting with them to explain the planned work of action research, and also will talk about the rules, permission, consents, which are needed for this working of inquiry. The second step, I will meet them in the classroom while teaching, and will observe their teaching to meet. I will meet them in their classroom during teaching, and will observe their teaching, and will try to see what is the issues in possibility of teaching in learning progress that should be covered and will be useful for the inquiry project. Then the third step, I will try to conduct a workshop if needed, and will prepare or collect some material, some content, some activities for the selected teacher to discuss on important concepts and misconceptions about heat transfer. That then for the next part of working, they will write their contribution, what they have learned in this part, in their ideas, in the reflection journal, as we are writing some points, and we are adding some thing we have learned in our journal. So I will try to make this activity, this thing for the teachers, the selected teachers. And the teacher will be connected with themselves, with each other for community of practice, for discussion, reflections, issues, experiences, new ideas, and new ideas that I am sharing with them, new ideas they are learning, they can share with each other. Also the issues or the usage of ICT as well. These are the parts of working with teacher. I can guess we will take in my working. Method of data collection and analysis. As the participants are physics teachers, 6 physics teachers from 2 or 3 secondary schools, and also the students are teaching for class 8. These will be the participant of the study. In data to be collected for the research, I would like to collect data from group discussion of students, reflexive journal of students, teachers, and also the interview with teachers. The methodology of the study, with the data collection analysis, I will write more on this part, but firstly in this stage I will share you that data analysis. The methodology of research will be descriptive, qualitative analysis of the study. The next slide. So these are the references I have used as used for contributing the concept about misconceptions of students about heat transfer. I have some other references in some other topics also, but I will add in this part. This was the first drop in the prompt task. So very shortly I written here some and missed some parts. I hope this will be enough. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Fazila. We will come back for the comments. We will move to the next fellow, which is Zohal. Zohal, would you like to share your own screen, or do you want me to share it? Zohal, are you facing internet issues? Because we can't hear you.
What, ma'am?
I'm not able to hear you well. Are you facing some connectivity issues?
Yes.
Okay. What I'll do is, let me share your presentation. Yeah. So can everyone see the screen?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Zohal,
Yes, we can see.
yeah, please continue.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Greeting to all. Before I start my presentation, I want to mention that it is the first time that I make or prepare proposal, and I hope it will be counted able for you. And I know it would have in first we have an additional question that what is the present practice in your country context. Now that I said that it is in math and it is some taught in a good method, because they don't know how they teach practically environmental material. And so I will focus on it. It is my research subject topic. It is the math subject, and the issue that I have chosen is math sum. And also second is the problems that it's important that we add.
The sound is interrupted, but we can read.
Yes. Zohal, have you connected to your audio? Because it's not showing that you're connected to your audio.
Yes. Now I'm connected.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Net, I hope it will be solved. Yeah, and also the important issues that I want to address, that it is due to not in different method in math subject issue. The math subject issue is boring for students, and also want to students find intrinsic subjects, especially math, that it's related to daily life. And also some problems are using in their daily life too.
Yeah. I've changed the slide, Zohal. You can go to the next slide on literature review. Zohal, you'll have to unmute yourself if you are trying to talk. You're muted right now.
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Zohal. Sarita, is anyone able to hear? Because I'm not able to hear her.
No, we cannot.
Yeah.
I can't hear either.
Are you hearing me?
A little
And
bit.
also about literature review. Also, of you that
Her audio is not much use, even if
Yeah,
it's on.
not all audible. What should we do, Zulekha?
I don't know. I haven't had any occasion to get be in contact with her. I tried to email her, but I'm also seeing her proposal for the first time. The others I at least saw drafts, initial drafts, but hers I haven't seen. So I can read it out if that helps, but I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
she can disconnect and come back on or do something like that. And usually
Yeah,
I'm not very good at computers either, so I don't know what to do.
ma'am, here is I think I don't know what to on, and
Zohal,
I
can
will
you
connect again.
leave the
But
meeting and come
video
back on?
problem.
Can you leave the meeting, Zohal?
Yes,
Majlis
I will
ila ko
try.
paas gaya hai. Yeah, come back again. Maybe it will help. Sometimes it does.
Okay, right.
Okay, we'll take the next fellow then till Zohal fixes. I think, Jamila, you haven't shared your presentation with me. So do you have your own presentation? Can you share the screen? Jamila?
Ma'am, I think Jamila has also the connectivity problem. She's in the meeting, but he has messaged me that I can't hear. I have connectivity problem.
Okay. Then we'll go to Mr. Rehmatullah Kakar. Did you share your presentation with me? Or was it Rehmatullah Safi? 1 second. One second. Mr. Rehmatullah Kakar is there. Is he there on the call? I don't see him on the call. Okay. Then we will go to Zulekha. Are your fellows ready to present? Mr. Aryan and Zarguna. I know you said Mr. Aryan was with some patient.
He has joined the meeting on time and he's there, and so is Zarguna. Zarguna's work, both of their work is still work in progress, but they can still present in either of them.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Aryan, can you present now?
Yes, Dhwani. Yes.
All right.
Good
I'll share my.
afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Sorry, let me first share.
No.
Yeah, Zohal, we'll come back to you. We are having another fellow present now.
Sorry,
Hello.
Dhwani. Please let me share my own slides.
Okay, no problem.
Because
No
I have
problem.
made some changes. If I still failed in doing so, I will kindly request you to share the slides from your end.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you can share your screen. Mohammed, can you hear me? You can share your screen if you want.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to repeat it. Please share my slide from your end because I failed in doing so.
Okay, no problem. I'll do that then. Yeah. Is it visible?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. This is Muhammad Ishaq Aryan. As you all can see, my action research proposal, the initial draft was prepared by me, and that was under supervision of the field mentor, Ms. Zuleikha. And I'm sorry to write down the name of the academic mentor as well. I'm sorry for that. Yeah, next slide.
Talk loudly.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm going to start with the context and rationale of my action research. Paktika, and particularly the district which is called Urgun, where I am originally from, and where my action research is going to be conducted and going to take place. That is called Urgun district. And the school where I'm going to conduct the action research is called Sadat Manda Primary School. So there, overall in Paktika province, particularly in Urgun district, children are we can see many children outside the school. They are visible with doing some heavy jobs, labor jobs in their childhood, and also we can see many girls who are out of school. There may be some cultural barriers, but perhaps there are some sort of exclusions which we are going to study during this action research. The girls particularly have chances to move on to continue their education up to grade 6, and then, as I mentioned before, due to some cultural barriers and maybe due to the lack of some pedagogical knowledge from the school teachers, or maybe due to the reason of crowded classes and maybe other reasons, but still we can even see girls are excluded from school environments. So although there are no specific special education schools in that district, but still we are evident of exclusions of the children. As I mentioned before, there may be many reasons, but one reason could be from the teachers' end and their pedagogical knowledge and skills. Because the crowded classes, there the teacher may only regard and consider the first rows of the class where able students are sitting, and they may ignore the rest of the students who are with different abilities. So I have brought a reference and a definition, or maybe an idea of some writers in this regard, which is visible to all of you. So I think I can go on to the next slide. In the literature review, I have gone through some readings where I have found some salient definitions and perceptions in this regard. As you can see, Hopkins 2008, which is cited in a journal, they believe that teachers' organizational skills and their interest in teaching in inclusive environment or classrooms, and in the students' behavior towards other students in their classrooms, and the level of talking of teachers, and also the level of interest of students who want to participate in different activities. They all, to some extent, have the impact on the inclusive learning environment, or in creating an inclusive learning environment. Meanwhile, in the same journal, we can find that students they interact with each other in school. They are going on with social life. They are interacting with students. They are interacting with teachers, and in outside of the school, they may interact with the school administration and other personnel. So they all the class should not consider any differences based on the educational backgrounds each children has. So according to this journal and the writers, the class still should be a social place, and it should not regard or it should not isolate able students with disabled students, or girls with boys, or able students with disabled students, or maybe intelligent students from not intelligent students. In the same manner, it's also important to remove. That's what I like this sentence and this notion. It's very important to remove the causes and all the reasons, the basis for the exclusion, not only identifying the excluded groups. So what we can infer here is that we should remove the basis of exclusion, the reason of exclusion, not only identifying excluded groups. In the same the other writers, they argue that the isolation of schools, particularly schools with with special education, those schools and mainstream schools, these isolations have also affected the inclusive learning or the inclusive schooling, because this is a sort of competitive integration between these two schooling models or systems. If there was only mainstream schooling, then the students, the administration, the policy makers, they all would have had an eye only on the policies to be conducted and to be considered for mainstream schooling or education. There would have been no need for isolating or creating new parts in these schooling systems or learning environments. Next slide, please. So here are the action research questions. What practices can enable students with different abilities to equally benefit from learning opportunities in Sadat Manda Primary School in Urgun district of Paktika province? I have added the second research question. What could be the students' perceptions and reflections about inclusive learning? So I'm going to find tangible and effective and meaningful answers in this particular school environment with teachers and students to find the outcomes and answer for these two questions. So the teachers, the administration, they will be coordinated, and I will have a coordination meeting with all these, so that I can provide them with an induction about the action research and the sequences, the process, the purpose, and what is called anonymity, because we will have to have observations of the teachers and interviews with some students. If they do not agree to be revealed while they are answering or while they are being observed, they will still have this authority. And what expected outcomes will we have about this? And also the teachers will be assisted in some capacity building or skills building sessions. I'm gonna have some sessions with minimum 5 teachers so that they can get skills about inclusive learning. What pedagogies can be there, what theories can be there, what are the definitions, what kinds will we encounter of inclusive learning, how can we eliminate the exclusion in school environment. So there will be some sessions about capacity building or skill buildings for teachers. I will need some technology tools, for example, computer and MS Office program, particularly PowerPoint and projector, so that I can prepare an orientation or induction about action research, as I mentioned before, and what could be the purpose and expected outcomes of these action research, and what positive changes can this action research bring in their professional career, and also to the administration and overall to the education system in Urgun district and Paktika province. In addition to that, observation checklist and will be prepared so that I can observe teachers with that checklist, and I will have to go on with some open questions and maybe short-ended questions with students, because they are the students of primary schools. I should have mentioned this as a limitation of the study, because the students are in primary schools, their age and their level of understanding may be lower and meager. So I will definitely avoid answering questions in complicated ways, or maybe asking questions which are very explanatory. But I will still stick into the answers which I will have to look for. And in the same time, notebooks and recorders will be also some sort of tools which I will have to benefit from. During the process of working with teachers, as mentioned before, we'll have a coordinating meeting and also skill building sessions for teachers, so that they can be familiarized with the inclusive learning, its impact, how can we implement these positively and meaningfully. So teachers will be briefed about the beside the action research overall, there will be minor other concepts which are also a part of this process, of this lengthy process of nearly 3 months. We might need to aware them or teach them about mentoring, about feedback, how to use, for example, technology in their teaching and learning process, and also how can they reflect about their own understanding. So there could be different strategies for this. Teachers will be motivated primarily so that they can get use of technology tools, particularly PowerPoint slides, projector and computer, and still can they motivate students in order to have meaningful sessions and meaningful learning outcomes. These are the tools which are easily available, I think, even in school administration. In method and data collection analysis, I will mention that I am going to conduct a qualitative method of data collection. The two tools, which is interviewing, and students will, the teachers will be observed and students will be interviewed with different sort of questions. I will strive to find reflections, perceptions of children, different children. They may be girls, they will be boys, they will be students with special needs, they will be able students, they will be disabled students. I will have to ask them and get the reflections of these students in the process of inclusion in learning environment inside the class and outside the class. For example, they could be judged through the behaviors towards other students, and also when they are just in an open space without any mentor, without any teacher, while they are playing in their playground. Meanwhile, as needed, I will check for schools, in school for registers of the classes where able and disabled students, girls and boys, they will be separated, and where they will be categorized in. So because this information will be also important for me. In the same way, the classes will be specified, and also the age of the students and the number of the children, and also the proportions of able and disabled students. In addition to this, in the second cycle, I think I'm going to observe the teachers for their change in their practice. What changes can we see, and what changes can himself, the teacher, see in his teaching professional development process, so he can make, or she can make, his or her own reflections also. It will take about 3 months, and the participants will be minimally 5 teachers, not minimally. I am going to do this precisely. 5 teachers will be included, and many students in this action research process in my province, in my district, in one of the primary schools. So this is the timeline for the action research work. In July, I'm going to plan research proposal and then prepare introduction chapter of the action research, which is the first chapter. In August, I'm going to do 3 sessions: preparing checklist for observation, preparing checklist for interviews, and doing literature review. This is only an initial draft, which is limited. I'm going to expand that. I think we will need for the format, and also the and also how many pages should be a literature review. So I think we will need for these instructions. In September, I'm going to do a research method and then analyze the data. In October, I'm going to discuss the study and then have a final review of the action research. And then if inshallah, I'll be presenting the result of the study just in the way I'm right now presenting the initial draft of this action research. So here is the reference list. At least 3 references are used in this action research study. Thank you. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you, Mohammed. We will go to Zarguna, and then I will invite anyone, to share their comments. So, Zarguna, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. I'm here. Hello.
Hello.
Are
Good
you
afternoon.
fine? Thank
Yes.
you. Good afternoon.
So, yes, Zarguna, go ahead, please.
Yes, thank you. In the name of Allah, and assalamu alaikum for everyone. My action research proposal is about social inclusion and gender in Afghanistan. And I want to do my research on gender and social involvement in Afghanistan because recently, due to various factors, women have been deprived on the rights and the work, and the rights to education and freedom. A large number of women activists have felt support and others are area and the others are in solution and included like girls schools are closed in most parts of Afghanistan and in few of the provinces where girls are allowed to go, they go to school with more disappearance, apathy, and lack of hope for the future. And this disappointment affects their academic results. Through this research, I want to find ways to make the girls of my country hopeful for the future life and to learn in different ways. I want to find different ways by my this research. And those who go to school, some girls go to school and learn the lessons in the schools with interest. Of course, the methods of this research were developed with the cooperation of Ms. Zulaikha Jan, and she was accompany me in all cases. Please, another. And about literature review, I don't know, any research about this one because I have little time because I have workshops for our classes for in SCA. I was a little busy in this kind has been done in this field so far. The only available sources are the media and televisions that expand educational programs and invite specialized teachers. Also make more time for these programs and focus more on issues that students connected learn at home. Like the coronavirus, a lot of students learn a lot of learn their learning from the televisions, such as English topics, mathematics, chemistry, physics, geometry, and trigonometries. This kind of lessons they can learn from the television and some media. Of course, I will take, I will talk with experienced and qualified teachers in the field, and I want them to compare it with the teachers in recording televisions programs and volunteer to come on the television every week to record programs for these students that they don't come to the schools, particularly the girls. They are don't have allow to go to the school, and this is a lot of a big problem in Afghanistan. Please, another. And in action research questions, I had the first, I read which female students will benefit from your research, and those who do, how do school. Number two, or those girls who go to school with fear, apathy, despair, fear of insecurity, and lack of freedom, but they are not interested. They come to the school, but not interested because they have a lot of fear. Another is about proposed invention, interventions, and strategy. In this action research, I'm speaking through the departments of education in Afghanistan, schools, administrations, and schools officials to allow teachers to participate in the some programs once a week. And also I will have interview for the with the teachers and I will observe their classes and their teachings, and separately talking and interview for the girls and boys that they learn in the primary schools in Afghanistan. Another slide is process of working with teachers. I would like to introduce myself to them, that I want to work to improve the education situation for girls. The number of girls who go to school are very limited, and in the elementary grades, girls and boys are in the same class, and their teachers are usually men, and girls do not dare to chat and participate in classes activities. This is a big problem in our country, particularly in Mazar-e Sharif city. And I can find as a suitable solution to solve the problems of girls in teaching and learning different concepts and topics that I am interested in. I will reward them by making them learn to participate more actively in school, get excellent result in exams, and pass the concours exam to cooperate. It's my wish. It's my wish. I want to find it. During the 3 months of research and to answer the questionnaires with interest and satisfaction and without fear, because I will mention the confidently of this program. A method of data collection analysis, the process of working with teachers and female students to start the conversation with teachers. I proceed by preparing questionnaires and checklists at first from the students, parents, school principals. I ask the permission of the teachers and the students themselves, because we are in Afghanistan are a little limited. And before starting the questionnaires, I express the purpose of my observation and interview, and so that there are no problem from the point of view or prejudice and cultural issues. I take a letter from my office, and I have my ID card with me. And in this work, I will bring the following devices with me, such as a laptop, tablet, questionnaires, a file for documents, and a notebook. And with their permission, I will also prepare a device for recording audio and photo, if it's possible. And this is my action work plan with timeline. In this action work plan, I have 4 months. Number 1 in July, planning research proposal and preparing indicator in the introduction chapters. And at the August, I preparing checklist for observation, preparing a checklist for interview, and preparing literature reviews. And at the September, I will preparing research method, data analysis, analyzing the outcomes, and inshallah at October month, I final review of this action research and presentation of results of this, of all of our studies. It's finished. And I don't working about the references. I will working at the future, inshallah. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zarghuna. I think Ibrahim Barial is not ready yet. So, Bindu, do you have any comments on the 3 presentations? We saw Fazila's presentation, Mohammad Aryan, and Zarghuna.
Dhwani, if possible, can you open the research questions in each of these? I had some questions.
Which one, Bindu?
All 3 at a time, then I can.
Okay. We'll go to Zarghuna since hers is the latest one.
Yes, yes. So in this, I wanted to check with you. when you say which female students will benefit from your research, can you explain that a little bit more?
Zarguna, that question's for you.
Zarguna Jan?
Bale, what?
Yes. Shuma jawab dete. Yeah.
Yes, I want to recognize some the students that they don't come to the schools, who do not go to the school.
But you, Zarguna Jan, you mentioned students who don't get a chance, like who don't participate in class. So you will probably have to narrow it down to one group, either those who are out of school or those who are in school but don't get a chance to participate. So you have to figure out which one you are talking about.
It will be too much for you to look at out of school students. I feel it's better to look at students who are coming to school but are not participating, and finding out the reasons for them not participating, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that
it will be better to narrow your question down to say, what are the reasons for non-participation of girl students in classrooms and out of classroom activities in school itself?
Because it does belong to our governance in Afghanistan, they don't allow to go to the girls to go to the school, and all the school for girls in Afghanistan are closed.
Oh, okay. Then, so you're
no. The thing is,
yeah, there is a bit of a confusion here.
I think so. Yeah. It's Zarguna Jan, girls are going to primary schools. That was your original problem. You said that because in primary school, the students are a mixed group, girls don't get a chance. They tend to be ignored in class. That was your original position.
But she doesn't wanted to highlight that she's only working for girls. That's why
we can work around, but yeah, it was not about girls outside of school originally, and working with teachers in schools will not really address that. So I think you said, Bindu, it might be better to talk about the girls who are in school rather than those outside.
Yeah, so if you don't want to focus on girls, Ruchi, she can just say what are children's participation, problems with participation and engage in, and what are the reasons for this.
It would be better to phrase it in the manner that what are the different ways in which the students participate, and some who do not participate, and those who do not participate, who are they and why are they not able to participate?
Correct. That is
making the question in such a way so that it does not emphasize that you are only looking at girls, but you are looking at girls because you know that these are the ones who are not able to participate in the classroom.
Correct.
Yeah.
I think that if you narrow down, it will be a good, otherwise I don't have issues with it. I think your question should be more focused, and the two questions. You can identify students who do not participate in classroom activities and discussions, and your second, who are the students who do not participate, and your second question is what are their reasons for not participating, and make that more focused. Yeah.
The reason that the girls don't participate at the primary schools, that they go to the school together with boys, and the teacher is a man. In this case, they have at least participate in the school.
Yes, but that is what you are thinking is the reason, but your action research should actually test this hypothesis and see if that is in fact the reason, or are there other reasons why students are not participating, right? So we cannot conclude, and that is why we're doing this action research. You have an idea, and that is your hypothesis right now, that they fear male teachers and things like that. But You want to learn from the students exactly why they are not participating. So, so your research questions should be framed like that.
Yes, but there is Afghanistan, and in Afghanistan, girls maybe have bukra hijab in the school. One reason of the girls that they don't go to the school and they have don't interested at the school, this is they don't have freedom for wearing the clothes.
But that is what
Yes,
you think,
all these
right?
things
And
that
Yeah, you think that that is your hypothesis, but you must test your hypothesis and see if that is in fact the reason why girl students don't participate. So,
so what Bindu is saying
to
that it should come
conclusion.
from your report. It should come from your talking to your students, talking to the teachers. It should come from that. If you decide, if you know beforehand, then why are we doing research? We are doing research to find out what these students are saying, what these teachers are saying. So try to
come from your data.
wait.
You
Yeah,
know,
it should
to
come from your data. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Zulekha, can I suggest something? Could you probably spend some time in the next couple of days with
I will. Yeah,
and
I
just,
will. She,
break down.
kind of, she was sort of all worked up about it. I helped her. I reminded her this morning about what her original question was. It's kind of, she was overwhelmed with other work, so she was at her wit's end. So I said, just make your presentation and get it there, and then we will work on it. Yeah, so we will work on it. I know that. I'm aware of what the issue is with her, so we will work on it.
And you are meeting the
reach out to
academic mentor tomorrow as well. So I think that's another
Yeah.
opportunity to further
Yeah.
break it down.
Yeah.
So I think we now,
we can move.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Zarguna and Zulekha and Bindu.
Rima, I think Rima has put her hand, Dhwani, in case you.
Rima, could you please put it on chat? I really have to move on now.
Okay.
Bindu, did you have any particular points for the other presentations?
I just need the research question again. Sorry, Dhwani. I didn't write it down.
I will go to Mohammad Ishaq Aryan's presentation. Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bindu, go ahead.
Yeah, I think I'm okay with this presentation. It was quite clear. So
All
I
right.
don't have any specific questions here.
All right. So we'll go to Fazila's presentation very quickly then. Yeah, I think these are the research questions. Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
think
so
that
this,
here, go ahead, Bindu.
Sorry, Ruchi, I'll just finish. What it seems like that the thermodynamic physics is boring for teachers and students. I think you can change the word boring actually here and say what are the difficulties. You know, usually teachers and students are bored when they find it difficult to learn a concept. And what are the difficulties and how can they be you know, how can they be addressed? So maybe that's a more positive way of looking at this thing. So I would remove the word boring and try to frame that last question a little differently. So,
yeah, and Fazila, tomorrow you're meeting with Poonam, who's your academic mentor. I think you can discuss this further and take in Bindu's comments. I think the other comments, I'm going to keep it for chat. We will move to the English presentations now. Ibrahim, I think your presentation is not ready. So we are going to move to Mariam. Mariam, are you ready? Hello, Mariam, can you hear me? Mariam, I can see you're on the call. If you're trying to speak, you'll have to unmute yourself. Okay. Yeah, Nagina, are you there? Hello.
Yes, ma'am, I'm hearing you.
Yeah, so you have your presentation ready, right?
Yes, really good.
Okay, can you share your screen? I haven't.
Yes, I will share.
Yeah.
Just wait a minute, I will share.
Yeah.
Can you let me share?
Yes, you can. Okay, Nagina, I found your presentation. I'll share it for you. Just a second.
Okay, is it visible?
Yeah, it's why students of 9th class in Nangarhar province, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, proposal of action research, context and rationale. That what is the present situation of the practice in your country context? The present situation is the teachers are not well qualified in English subject, and also they do know about the importance of English language. And in our context or in our schools, the teachers have many problems. For example, they are not well qualified and they don't go to the courses, English courses. They are not able to study, or maybe they don't have time. So that's why they are not well qualified, or actually their families did not let them to continue their education. For example, when they are in 12th class, or maybe they are graduated, their family married them, so that's why they cannot continue to their or they cannot make something in their career. That's why we have many problems in this side. And also the other side, the problem that I'm focusing on is they don't know about the importance of English, that English is an international language, and if we don't know English, we can't have promotion, because there are many books which is written in English language, or websites, internet, computer. When we want to have access to these, so we have to know English language, and we have to have the ability or the skill of speaking. And the other question, why is this problem important to address? This is important because, as I mentioned before, that English is an international language, and when we want to have a trip to other countries, so English is very familiar in most of the countries, especially speaking English. If we know and we learn, and also we write English, but we don't have the ability to speak, so we will face many problems. So that's why I want to focus on English speakers, or why the students of our schools can't speak English, or if they speak, their speaking is not very well. Okay, other side. Literature review. I have used a book in which In the 21st century, the English language has become an inseparable part of educational curriculum. Most countries where English is used as a second or foreign language. And the other question is, what kind of resources are available for the particular topic? For this topic, we can use online resources or books we can download, and also we can use some websites like Google Scholars. So through these websites, we can get information. And also the other answer, what are the innovations that have been tried in the field in the particular? I think there are different, we should focus on some factors. There are some factors to focus on, and through that we can find the innovations in that book. That is some skills like mother tongue factors, teacher and teaching factors, and also classroom culture factors. Action research questions. I write it shortly, and I have two questions in my action research. First, why students cannot speak English well? What is the reason? And the second one, how to improve their speaking skill. So the other slide, proposed innovations, intervention, and strategy. I want to improve students' speaking skill by utilizing update methods and approach of speaking. The first step in improving English speaking is listening. Through listening, we can improve our speaking, because when we listen, we know the exact pronunciation of the words. So this is a good approach to listen, and after that, we can speak. We can install some applications of speaking English, and also we can use some online websites like WordStream and also TED Talks, and similar to these websites, we have many other. In current time, everyone have smartphone, and I'm working in a city, and this school is located in the city. So every teacher has a smartphone, so they can install apps and they can use online websites. Process of working with teachers. So we can start working with teachers through a formal letter or an official letter. We will have a letter from our office to the school, and through this we can get so after that we can contact with them by WhatsApp group or through mobile phone. We can have their contact numbers, and we can solve their problems. We will conduct a meeting with them and discuss our action research. After that, we get admission, or we are allowed to the school. So then we can have a meeting with them and discuss our action research topic. And also we will address them some online websites, applications, and we will tell them to talk English with each other and do not shame of making mistakes. And also I will focus on their weaknesses. And if they talk with each other in English, so it's the best way to improve their speaking skill. And also they should not shame of making mistakes, because when someone shame, so they can have that skill. We have to create a collaborative space of working with each other, and a space where we can make healthy criticism and don't get angry of making criticism. Methods of data collection and data analysis. My method of data collection is qualitative data collection, and I will start from primary data, and I will have interview with them. I'm, as you know, I'm focusing on speaking skills, so I have to have had an interview with them. I hear them, so through this way I can get information or collect my data. And how to analyze data, I will work with my field mentor and academic mentor to analyze my data. These are the references. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nagina. We will now move to Mariam. I hope you're able to unmute yourself now. Could you please come in? Sorry, Mariam, unable to hear you.
Okay,
It's better now. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, Mariam, go ahead.
Can you have my voice?
Yes, we can.
Okay, okay. Okay, good. So if you show the slides, it would be better.
Yes,
yeah.
I am.
Okay. In the name of Almighty Allah, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my presentation. First of all, let me thank you all for having me and giving me time to present. And I'm going to talk about the action research proposal, which is prepared by me, and my academic mentor is Jennifer, and a field mentor is Rohla Rohani. Okay, so the next slide. Okay, in the context and rationale, I am going to talk about the present situation in one context. So the use of CET or communication language teaching, in particular of role play in a one context, is less, especially in schools. Traditional teaching methods are preferred more. And however, Nouri 2018 stated that if lecturers in university level had positive perception of using CLT activities, the lecturer uses a number of major CLT activities in their classrooms. And the main problem that I am focusing is on lack of implementation CLT or role plays approach in schools, exclusively in 6th grade classes. I address this problem since the students are very weak in producing the target language. It is because students do not have the chance of practicing the target language in class. Okay, so the next one. In the literature review, I have read about 10 to 20 articles, but due to lack of time, I could not mention all the sources. So I've just mentioned one of them. In that, I have written about what is role play. Zoo 2011-12 stated that role plays often consist of short scenes, which can be realistic or pure fantasy. Role plays may be enacted around everyday situation as well as around topical problems. And what are the advantages of role play? The advantages are useful for generating free expressions and feeling of spontaneity in the language classroom. Also, in the communicative language teaching approach, students are actively involved in playing games, which in turn can arouse and maintain their interest in learning, promote their motivation of study, and at the same time get a lot of opportunities to have their basic skills of listening and speaking practical. Okay, the next slide. My action research questions are two. The first one is how to help teachers with knowledge and skills needed for CLT role plays effectively in grade 6 of 5 girls' school in Kabul province. And the second one is how to implement role play effectively. The next one. And the proposed innovation, intervention, and strategies that I have considered is that I will provide a knowledge of CLT through face-to-face meetings and Telegram applications. And also I will provide information for writing reflections and introduce various role play techniques to the teachers through online meetings and group discussions, and also implementation of role play in classroom with the teacher. I will implement the role plays with the teacher, with the help of the teacher, and they will see it for one day, and after that they will conduct that. So then I will observe them. Okay, the next one. Process of working with teachers. At the start, through a meeting with the teacher, I will initiate the conversation and give her a detailed information about this project. With giving detailed information about action research topic, and will take sign on consent letter and confirm their willingness to join the process. And next, the inputs in terms of professional development that I'm going to provide them will be the information on how to implement role plays, and provide information on what are sources of role play techniques, classroom supports, and reflective discussions. And the next one, the opportunity for collaboration and reflecting. Okay, so the method, okay, the opportunity for collaboration and reflection for teachers, I will provide them the opportunity. I will ask the teachers to keep a journal for writing reflections, and will give them constructive feedback continuously. And the method of data collection, the participants are the English teachers of girls' school. I will take consent from them, and the data that I'm going to gather is both qualitative and quantitative data. In the qualitative data, I will do a structured interview and focus group interview from the teachers, and in quantitative data, I will do a Likert scale questionnaire in order to check the attitude of students toward role play. And in qualitative, I will see the attitude of students toward the technique. Okay, the next one. My action work plan timeline. The action research proposal first draft and final draft will end till 15 August as it was proposed. And the formalities of the officials from going to schools, I will try my best to do it till 5 August. And meeting with the teachers and adding them to the groups, it will take time from 5 to 10 August. And conducting interviews and having an overall observation of class will be from 15 or 20 August. And the first cycle of implementation will be on September. And the next one, these are the reference that I have used. So thank you for listening, and I am looking forward to your constructive feedback.
Thank you so much, Mariam. Ibrahim, do you by any chance want to just orally talk about your topic? Because you were not able to talk to Jennifer even in the morning because of connectivity. For 5 minutes, do you want to share if you're able to connect now? Thank you, Mariam.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Is Ibrahim on the call, Anwarullah?
Ibrahim, contact him.
All right, no problem. We'll move on then. So we have, I think, Nasima, are you ready? And Jennifer, would you like to say anything for the fellows that presented right now? Do you have any points you'd like to share?
Thanks, Vani. No, because we just spoke to them some hours ago. I think I'll pick up the conversation later with them in my next meeting.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Nasima, please go ahead. I will share presentation. Yeah. Is it visible? Sorry, Nasima, unable to hear you.
Hello.
Yes, Nasima, please go ahead.
Context and rationale. A lack of emphasis on the structure of interactive environment to learning be used ICT, library, textbooks, vector use, good fellows and environment material. But education as essential of Afghanistan toward peace, security, and the education bring empowerment, opportunity, but now to educate. Identification, the constant national leading interesting materials to this to visions of
Can't really hear anything.
Nasima, we're not able to hear you. Who's your field mentor? Rohula, is that you? Nasima, can you try speaking again? We can't hear you.
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Prepare it and both formal and
Nasima, I'm unable to hear you well. Rohula, have you spoken to Nasima? Do you think you can cover some points for her? If Rohula is on the call. I think he's not there on the call. Okay.
literature review.
Hello.
Dwani, she can just share her presentation.
Yeah.
It's very clear and
yeah,
we can read it.
Yeah, Nasima, what we'll do is, can you try talking again one last time? Otherwise, we will, in tomorrow's meeting with Ankit, who's your academic mentor, we can discuss this in detail. Hello. Okay, I'll just, Bindu, I'll just go through the slides a little bit and then I think I'll go to the next person. Unable to hear you at all. Yeah, I think I'll, this is a very detailed presentation actually. We would have loved to hear you very well, Nasima, but unfortunately because of internet, I think we can't go ahead. So, yeah, we'll move to the next.
And improves their understanding of the text. The important aspect and the prediction process is comparing the prediction to the outcomes of the sample. Without this aspect, the prediction process and misprove student
Sorry, Nasima, I'll have to cut you. I don't know. Rima, are you able to hear her? Rima, Sarita, Ruchi?
Can't Vani,
Yeah. So, Nasima, what I will possibly speak to you and Zohal later, if you can share voice notes with each slide, if we are not able to connect, or else we'll see what can be done. We'll move to Rahmatullah Safi. Is he there on the call?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello?
Yes.
Can you hear me, Mom?
Yeah. Is the iPhone you, Rahmatullah?
Yes, I use iPhone, but my name is...
Yeah, the name does not get...
I don't know about.
No problem. I will share your presentation. Please go ahead.
In the name of Allah, good afternoon to everyone and Mom to you, special to you. My action research proposal presentation about how to improve the writing skills of the first grade student at Asadabad Boys High School. As you know better, I prepared this presentation in my academic mentor is Anwarullah Sadat in Nagun. Hear me?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
The next slide, context and rationale. As you know better, the current situation in Afghanistan is about the teaching. Teachers are still using traditional approach or methodologies. The second one, teachers do not have sufficient skill in language teaching, and they may graduated or from one specific have a specialized in teaching in another subject. The third one, the teacher less access to the lesson material, and they don't have sufficient lesson material to use and teaching techniques. The problem to focus on constantly or continually giving advice to teachers to change teaching practice from traditional teaching to active teaching. The second one, giving constantly feedback to enhance the teaching skills, behavior, and attitudes. Conducting teaching training workshops, also conducting action research to improve the rationality and justice of their own social and educational practices, as well as their understanding of these practices. Let's go. Literature review. There is no research has been done for improving the writing skill. Only Google Scholars available resources for how to improve the writing skill, and we can take benefit or more information about the scholar for how to improve the writing skills of the first grade students. Go ahead. Action research question, but unfortunately, I got misunderstanding, but I wrote the questions from which we learn in training, but I will try to use my own questions in this research action questions. Okay, Mom? Propose innovation in intervention in strategies. First, intervention. Identify current problems, design intervention, implement intervention, data collection, and finally, data analysis of the data that we are collected. process of working with teacher. For the action research, at the first, we will get a formal or official commitment letter from the education director conducting a meeting with the head or a principal of school, then select a 4 teachers for a language education will be selected from Asadabad Boy High School in a individual meeting with each teacher. And I will give a brief, useful information about action research, characteristic of action research, and purpose of action research. The classroom observation of each teacher and note their weaknesses. Group discussion with students. Every week group discussion with teachers. Methods of data collection and analysis. Teacher, head teacher and principal, student and academic member of mentoring and evaluation department will be participated in this action research for collecting data and analysis. I will collect data, valid data or secondary data during my action research. Next.
This is the last slide.
Mom. Yes, finished, sir.
Yeah, this was the last slide.
Last slide, but unfortunately I missed or left the references for some 2 other slides. And final, I will try to better or try to write more completely.
Yeah, no problem. Just make sure you have your action research questions by tomorrow when you will be meeting with Ankit. Anwarullah, you please make sure you work with him. You're his field mentor. And tomorrow when Nasima and Mr. Safi meets Ankit, you can discuss the research questions because this is the very important part of action research. You have your.
I told you before, Mom, I misunderstand about this
No
action
problem.
research questions. I will try to get in right correctly.
Yeah, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Safi.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, bye. We will now move to Mehriban. Is he on the call?
No, Dhwani doesn't seem like.
Okay.
Who's Afghan Khan, he's Mehraban.
Yeah, that's I remember it from the meeting. Mehriban or Afghan Khan.
Oh.
If you can please come forward, present. I have your presentation.
Mehraban sir, आवाज आ रही? Mehraban sir.
Mehriban. Okay. Okay. What should we do? Anwarullah, should we move on?
will call him.
Yeah, you call him. Till then, we'll move to Mr. Nasiri if he is on the call.
Okay.
I do see Mohammed Nasiri is on the call.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. I will open your presentation. Yeah, go ahead.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. In the name of Allah, action research proposal. How students can learn easy ways to add and subtract of fractions. Academic mentor is Dr. Tuba Khan, field mentor Ikramullah Mukhlis, and I'm the research fellow. In the proposal context and rational. There are 5, 6 points. In Afghanistan, the teachers more focus on theoretical knowledge in math education instead of practical. Most of the teachers use traditional method of teaching at the class. Unfortunately, most of the teacher schools do not access to learning materials to teach fraction in a quality ways. Fraction is the most important part of the mathematics. Support the targeted teachers to develop learning item to teach fraction basically. To conduct short training for the teachers to learn them new methods of math or meeting an interview with training also. The next one. Literature review is under process.
Literature.
Next one. Action research question. There are 2 action research question. The first one is how the teachers develop and use new methods and learning materials for practice in fractions, because most of the teachers do not know the methods for fractions. And how does the use of methods and learning materials help to improve student skills in fractions? There is 2 questions. The next one is in this proposal, the participants and location is primary school mathematics teachers. The number of teachers will be 5 in 3 schools in Balkh province, Afghanistan. And research methodology on data collection is interview, classroom observation, feedback, field notes, audio, video, and photographs. And the final one is about implication, agreement, approval, or maybe an official letter for school and to talk or meeting with the teachers and interview with teachers, understanding their knowledge on fractions, describing and meeting with the need of research problem in the area of fraction, practice that they are following to teach fraction for their students basically, providing learning materials and collect new methods for teachers to teach fractions in an easy ways and practically. There is also the implication points and also the references on their working. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Nasiri. We will now go to. Okay. Mehban, are you able to unmute and present? Afghan Khan. Okay. Abdullah Danish, I was not able to get your presentation and I forgot to call out your name. Do you have a presentation, Abdullah?
Yes, Dhwani, I have my presentation and I have sent to all 3 emails that Anwar texted me before.
Okay, for some reason I didn't get it. You want to share your screen?
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, please go ahead.
Is it visible?
Yes.
And can you see the presentation?
Yes.
Okay. It's now my turn to present my research proposal presentation. And the topic that I had worked on is how to make it possible to teach English subject effectively in schools. I have mentioned the school Tajribawi, that's a primary, that's a high school located in the Nangarhar province. And it's a bilingual school, like the students come from different native languages. So that's why I worked with this topic in order to teach English effectively in these schools where the students come with different native languages. Actually the problem, which I will share later, the questions that refers to the teacher who have some difficulty in explaining or in teaching the English subject to these kind of students. So first of all, I would explain it as in Jalalabad city, where I live in eastern region of Afghanistan, there are lots of schools where students come with varied and different native languages. Like some of them some of them come with Pashto as a native language, and some of them come with Dari as a native language. So this is the main cause that makes it difficult to teach English subject the way it's supposed to in these related schools of Jalalabad city. And I have targeted one of those schools in which I will work practically with the teachers and to find out some solutions and ways of teaching English subject more in a better way and more effectively. This action research is very crucial. Like its significance is basically for the teachers, as many of the teachers have the knowledge and they have to have the knowledge to tackle such situations where they're faced with the students. Like some of them will speak one language and some of them will speak the another language as their first language or as their native ones. So these mother tongues or the first languages has great effects in acquiring or in learning these English as a second language for them in schools. I have been through many researches and many books by a lot of the scholars, and I went to Google Scholar to search for some data regarding this topic. And many researches have been conducted in different countries, like not only Afghanistan, but also in the world. There are many other countries where we have the same situation, where students don't have a particular single language as their mother tongue. So learning English for them is a bit challenging. We have to come with some sort of solutions which will help the teachers to teach English as L2 for them more effectively. So all these researchers mainly insist that L2 usage should be increased instead of L1. Like L2 is the second language, that is English, or we can say the English subject itself, and L1 is their mother tongue. The first research is by Macaro, and he states that native English speaker teachers, or they abbreviate it as NISTs, they are somehow more effective than local English teachers. But with some lack of resources and some other problems, I have just gone through these literatures and the data that was available to see what things really matter in making this topic more clear and finding a good solution for this problem. So they mainly focus that when we use English in classrooms more often, so it will help them instead of like using the first language. So the first language may be any language that they have. There may be their mother tongue may be different, but the use of L2 will help them to get it easily. And there was another research who says that local teachers' lack of confidence in their own language skill is the main cause of ineffectiveness of teaching L2. Mostly, as we see that many of the teachers in the high school or anywhere, these teachers are not fully confident or fully knowledgeable in the in teaching the second language, because it's also their second language, it's not their native ones. So this lack of confidence is also a problem. I've been through many other literatures and which will be stated in the proposal itself, but shortly I have come only to these 2 points. So the research questions for my action research are: what practices and techniques can be used by the teachers to teach English subject effectively in a bilingual context? This is the first research question that will provide a proper solution for the research problem. And the second question is about how does students' mother tongue, whether that's Pashto or Dari specifically, can affect in learning English subject effectively. So we will see the effect of or the result of like having the mother tongue in their class as well as we will discuss this point in our research. What I have proposed for intervention strategies that I will use during the practical sessions of my research. So during the practical task of the action research, the teachers are going to be introduced before undertaking any activity. And for this, a coordination meeting with the school administration. And if like we want to involve parents as well, so we will need to have that meeting with them as well. For example, if we want to have a meeting with students, so their parents' consent is as well needed. So first task was about having a meeting with them, and then the consent of the teacher, the headmaster, the administration, and even the students when we want to observe them, when we want to interview with them. So we need to first have a proper notice or some sort of consent letter for them in order so that they would be aware of that we are going to use this data, where and for which purpose. This is very, this thing needs to be made clear. The purpose of the study, the confidentiality and results will be shared with the teachers and administration of the school, which will ask even that you have to share what you are going to do with us. And as well as for the doing this thing, local ethics and the things that are needed, the school culture, these things will be considered, highly considered. During the introduction of the research to the administration teachers, I will need ICT facilities as well, because for better, for making them understand something, I will have to have a presentation which will focus on the main objectives of this research and how will I do, what will I do, and what will be its impact like on the teaching practices, and what will be the benefits of it in the education sector, especially. Observation sheets will be needed while observing the teachers. And in addition to this, many other online resources like are available to have the other data, the literature like Google Scholar, web pages and links that can help me in getting my innovative ideas in as well as the strategies in my action research. The process that I will apply first, I will have to identify that who will I work with, like my research participants. That would be the primary and secondary level school teachers from the same school. I will work in one of the schools, which is located in the city, and the students are from different native language backgrounds. So from grade 4 to grade 9, the 3 grades come in the secondary and the 3 other comes in the primary level. So I will work with these teachers, the teachers from grade 4 to 9. And in this research, the process of working with teachers is very clear, because meetings will be held with concerned teachers. And before that, the consent of administration and parents, if involved, are required. During the work of the teachers, classes will be observed, and the teacher data will be also a data for me, that the observation sheet will be a primary data for me that I will use in my research. Also, to make the task more interesting, like what should I do to make them really be interested in my research. I will provide them with the purpose of the study, its significance that will help the teachers in their practices. When they know that these results and the findings of this research can help me to make my practice or the teaching profession more effective and more beneficial, so they will be motivated. And as well as with the administration and the teacher, the results of the study will be shared. The method that I will use for the collection and analysis of data is, as my participants are the school teachers, so the participants in my research will be 5 of them. Like any grade will be missed, not all the 6 grades, but from 4 to 9, I will select 5 teachers. And the school that I'm going to work in is located in the east of Afghanistan. I will use qualitative methodology for collecting my data, and the research tools or the methods that I will apply in the action research are the interview and observation, which will help me to get the primary data for the research, And my data will be analyzed with the process of operationalization. That's a tool for like converting the qualitative data to quantitative. So I will have the numeric or quantitative data in my hand, and that will be something as the result will be clear to the research like audience who will be there. I will disseminate my analyzed data after being finalized to be tested whether a proper answer and solution to the particular problem is gained or not, or my research objectives are met or not. So I will just go for the test of the result objectives that I will compare both the results with the research objectives. And this part is the action work plan with timelines. As we had the meeting, the online session where some of the fellows discussed about the areas who have summer vacation. So we are off. Some of the schools are off for July and August. So our actual practical session or practical tasks will start in September. Before that, I'm going to do some of the tasks in the research. In the July, like I have been working on research proposal plan, then drafting the first chapter to introduce the action research completely. And then in August as well, designing of interview sheet and observation sheet. In September, I will draft the literature. Plus this, I will work on research methods and collecting data. So the practical work starts from September 20 when the new academic year in the school starts. Before that, we wouldn't be able to observe the teachers in the classes. So that's why the practical session, like the activity number 6, will start in September 20th September. And after the collecting data and the use of with the use of some sort of tools, whatever that is, like will be discussed on that time, that the data will be analyzed in October, in the first week or the first 10 days of October. And then the discussion and recommendations will be provided, the final draft of action research, dissemination of the results for action, and follow-up if needed. So this action work plan and timeline for the research was provided. And I have just 2 references, as I quoted only 2 of the statements from the literature. So these 2 references of that, and the other data for the literature is available in the research proposal, will be provided later. Thank you very much. Now, if you have anybody has any sort of recommendation or comments, they can share.
Thank you so much for that detailed presentation, Abdullah. Thank you all the fellows. I am hoping that, hearing all the presentations from the fellows will encourage the fellows who have not yet shared their presentations or prepared them. I think Meherban is still not able to connect. That's fine. Meherban, we will see what can be done. So in terms of the final presentations, I think Nasima and Zohal, even though you sent your presentations, we couldn't hear you. And was there one more person? Yeah, I think Meherban. So the 3 of you, we'll see when we can hold your presentations. With regards to Rahmatullah Kakar, Jamila, Zikrullah, and Ibrahim Barial, kindly share your presentations. I see your hand up. Meherban, is that you?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you want to present?
Sorry, ma'am. Good afternoon to everyone. I think so. I could not able to share my slide because I craft. Okay.
Is this your?
Yes. It is my action research proposal, but I lost my slide because my computer Windows was crashed last night, and this is my action research proposal, but not slide. And if you want to,
You can go through it, Mehban. If all the points are here, you can possibly go through this. It's fine. Is that fine? Mehban?
Ruchi, don't we have another meeting now?
This
Or
is
is it tomorrow?
Dhwani. She is already in that meeting.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. We do. So Anwarullah is Anwarullah, Sadiq, are they there?
Hello.
Yeah.
We are on our way to home, and yeah, we can.
Okay.
We are attending the meeting, but like we are on our way.
Okay, I can't hear you as well. Okay, what we'll do,
Okay.
Mehban, since we can't hear you, we will see what can be
Can
done.
you hear my sound?
I can now. You want to quickly present for 5 minutes?
Yes. Action research proposal. My academic mentor was Tubu and film mentor of the Rahman Safai. Sorry. And
Yeah, go ahead. We keep losing him. I think we'll take him next time because we don't have enough time left. Ikramullah, would you inform him, please? We'll see if we can have the presentations next time. Yeah, so Ikramullah, please inform him.
Dhwani, have you and Sarita received my presentation?
I will have to check, Abdullah. We'll let you know. You try resending it or you send it on Telegram. Maybe that will be better.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you everyone for your presentations. Please share the ones who have not shared your presentations. Please share them with us. We will see what we can do. In terms of the mentor meetings, I wanted to know if Nasima and Rahmatullah Safi, the two fellows who are working with Ankit, Anwarullah, can they meet him tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. Afghanistan time?
Yeah, sure. I contact them, and I will inform them to join the meeting. I have created a schedule for them, and tomorrow I will inform them.
Yeah, please do. The other thing is that Fazila, Jamila, and Zohal, you'll have to mute yourself. Yeah, Fazila, Jamila, and Zohal, you are meeting with your academic mentor from 2 to 4 p.m. tomorrow. So please be there. I'll share the link. I've already shared it, I think so. As well as Zarguna, Mr. Mohammad Aryan, you are meeting with your academic mentor Sujata and Zulekha at 5 p.m. Afghanistan time. Yeah. So please make a note of this. And Nasima and Rahmatullah Safi, if you are available tomorrow, please join at 2 o'clock. I will inform Ankit as well. All right. So tomorrow we have a session by Bindu. Sarita, what time is it?
It's morning. Morning 10:45 our time, so it must be.
Sorry, not 9:45 p.m. Afghanistan time, right?
Yeah.
Or is it 11 o'clock? Let me just 1 second. I'm not sure. Yeah, so we will share the link with you all, and please be there early. Bindu is going to take a session on literature review and analysis. It's going to be very helpful. And in the second half, some of you have your meetings with your mentors. I will share the link on the thematic groups. All right. Thank you, everyone. Anyone has any final comments? Rohullah, Ikramullah, Zulekha. Zulekha, I think, has left the meeting.
She's not here.
Yeah. Okay, then we will end the meeting. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening. Bye-bye.
Bye bye. Have a nice time.
Bye. Please follow up with your fellows in case they haven't shared their presentation, all the mentors, Mr. Ikramullah, Rohullah, whoever, whichever mentors have, fellows have not shared, please get it from them. And tomorrow we are meeting Ankit, same thing for Anwarullah as well. Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.